Hey guys, Long Haul Larry. Sorry about the wind. It's pretty windy out here today, but I definitely got some problems. I thought this was going to be the easy part. It's not. So, what I was thinking about is I knew this was all plywood, and you could see it from the inside of the garage. I had the walls off on the inside and stuff. I could see it, it didn't look rotten or nothing else. And so I was like, okay, well, this would be easy. Just peel the stuff off and just put my treated plywood over the top of it. OSB on the top, windows, boom, boom, away we go. Well, that is certainly not the case. I have just found out that they built this extension onto the house, this living room garage. And what they've done here is they built it directly on the ground. No foundation. The foundation for the house ends right over there. It looks like they poured a foundation, like there's a foundation out this way that goes down. And I'm going to tell you, I've never seen cracks or anything over there from where the house meets on with this living room. I've never seen anything happening. So it's not moving, so that's fine. Then I got over to the house part of it. And you can see the hole right there where I shoved my bar in there. There's no concrete. There's no foundation under this garage. And that bottom sill is just rotten. This is not good. I've been a little bit like, really? I really thought this was the easy. I thought this was just going to whip out, So, I've come up with a plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of those concrete tubes. Those form tubes, I don't know if you've ever seen those or not, but they're basically just big round concrete tubes. They come in like 8, 10, 12 inch around and stuff. And what I'm going to do is dig holes down. And you can see there's 2 beams here that end and everything. And they just have like a concrete block sitting underneath there. I'm going to actually dig down, see if I can get it down 4 feet, put the tube down and try to have it kind of even with the ground. The grass is real high and everything. I can go get my weed whacker and get rid of all this so I can see what I'm doing better. But then put one there and then put it about every 6 feet. Put one of those tubes down and then put a beam across those and then pour concrete in those tubes and then put a beam, a treated beam all the way across there and stuff that the house will actually have a foundation. And that way it'll be sitting on there on those pillars with, 4 foot down and everything. It's about the only thing I can really do. I knew that the garage, this side I didn't think was nothing bad. But this side over here, I knew there's a sag in it. The garage, it kind of in the middle, it kind of goes down. And I was planning on I have these big, jack things that you put under your basements and stuff. And, I was actually going to lift the garage up, lift the wall up a little bit and dig down and put a couple holes in there and then fill them with concrete to give it some kind of foundation in there to help support that because this looks like it was sinking. But this is going to be a lot more than this. So that's the plan, is that's what I'm going to have to do. And I'll have to cut out all this rotten sillboard here and, put on new 2x8s or 10s or whatever those are. They look like 8s, or maybe 10s, I don't know. But put all that brand new in there and then block it all up decent and everything. Yeah. This is not fun. I got some help in here and got some help digging some holes. I'll get to that in a minute. But what I did is I actually took the tractor and I dug down a big deep hole here. I've actually filled it back in when that hole was dug. But I wanted to see, because there is concrete there. And there is concrete back over here too. And I dug down with the tractor to see if I could get under the concrete and everything else. And I went down about 3.5 feet and I'm still hitting concrete. So somebody poured something there where the house joins and everything. And somebody has poured over here in the center too. And then that's connected onto the house foundation. But going into it, this garage has no foundation whatsoever. None of these walls have foundations. And all it is a 2x8 board and they're doubled up and they're just sitting on the ground. And so I dug them out and out the tractor and found that out. And then somebody stopped over this afternoon, this guy that's working for me, he stopped over and he started digging down and everything. And basically what we're going to do is get those tube forms, and we dug down 4 foot. They're 4 foot long, and I got 4 foot from that 2x8 down. And I'm leaving that 2x8 the way it is right now. But I'm measuring down, and we got this one, and that one done. And basically, what we're trying for is to get one over on this end to help. And then about 6 feet down. Then I got another side here, and then we're going to put one in the corner. And dug those in and everything. And he was over here working on these. I actually had to leave. And I came back and saw the trouble he's just having, and just the world of hurt. And so I told him, I said, dude, I says, this is going to have to be done all the way around this whole garage. And so I told him, I said, let's just leave this and let me do some magic with the tractor. So I've been out here with the tractor, digging down, getting as much as I can and everything. And I got her about 3 feet down now. Now all you got to do is just go underneath with a shovel and stuff like that and make it a lot easier. And then I figure about every 6 feet down this wall, put a pillar. And then once we get those poured and get those set in there, I'm sorry, a little burp there. Then let the concrete cure. Then all those bottom sill boy, those 2x8s are going to have to be ripped out. And what I'll do is I got some jack things that are inside the garage. I bought them to work on the front with. I'll probably use them in the back and anchor them inside and lift on the concrete that's on the floor and help hold the wall up. And I'll take those rotted 2x8s out, get a bunch of new 2x8s, double them up, and have them sit right on top of these concrete pillars that we're going to put down in there. It'll be every 6 feet or so. Will it last forever? No. If I get 20 years out of it, 25 years out of it, it'd be great. You know what I mean? And then what we're going to do is just make a form and just pour concrete alongside of those beams over there. They do have footings and stuff, but I want to have a concrete poured along there and everything. And then do this, and then put these 2x8s, put two 2x8s sandwiched together on the bottom wall, and have those sitting on the forms and everything. And that will take care of these walls and everything. And this one over here, we'll do the same thing over here, and I'll be able to raise it up in the center and get this roof more equal, more straight. And then up in the front corner, I'm going to power a whole foundation around that corner to keep that in. I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm going to look at it. I may just do a up here thing in the front corner too. We'll see how good it looks when I get up there. But basically just jack it up, rip off the rotten boards, the sill boards that are on the bottom, put new ones in, drop it back down on these concrete forms that I'm going to put in here, and away we go. All it's doing is holding up the outside skeleton of the garage. The inside is the concrete floor that's sitting on there, and that thing is heaved and broken and everything else. Well, it's because they never put a foundation in this thing, that's why. So I had, me and the drunk carpenter had patched it all up and made it decent enough. It's still not flat at all, but it's decent. So yeah, this was something I did not even plan. I wasn't even thinking of doing this. I'm seriously, I knew this plywood is on here, and I knew it was in good shape. I knew it wasn't rotten, and I thought the whole walls were like that. I thought when you just peel off the old siding and just start putting tray plywood on there, OSB, pop those windows out, put them on the outside like they're supposed to, and away we go. But no, this is going to be days and days of this, trying to get this all fixed. Got all these holes dug. I'll show you what I got going on. Right now, I'm using the old Ford industrial tractor, and I am straightening this garage. I have dug holes down, gotten them down really 4 foot, trying to get below the frost line and everything. I get down to about 30 inches or so, and it's just like concrete down there. It's just clay, solid clay, and it goes down forever. I can't get to the end of it. And so that kind of makes it, a really good base in there and stuff. But I don't know if you looked. the roof line is actually pretty straight. It used to have a real good dip. I mean, this thing used to come way down. And I actually have it straight right now. And what I'm using is my old Ford industrial tractor. And I noticed this when I was digging out. What I did is I took the bucket and I dug down as much as I could. And over in that hole and this hole, there is concrete that somebody's poured. It's like rocks all in there. And then they poured some concrete down there, kind of like I think this was sinking, and somebody just poured some concrete underneath there, but it only goes down about a foot and a half. Well, that just heaves up and down. So you got to get it down below the frost line. So I have to replace the 2x8s that are underneath here. And so what I'm doing is putting these posts down in here, concreting them in, and give myself a foundation, and then I'll rip out the old 2x8s and then put two 2x8s next to each other screwed together underneath the bottom of the walls. So I need to get them up because I need to figure out the exact measurement of the posts so they sit right underneath those 2x8s. And I decided I was digging out and I caught my bucket underneath a chunk of concrete, and when I was lifting, trying to bust it out of there, I lifted the whole wall of the garage and it started coming out. So I'm like, oh, a tractor is going to be able to do it. So I put the bucket underneath there, and I have gotten all the holes all dug. And I tell you, this took me about 4 days. I would dig for a while. I'd have to sit on ice, medication. It's been a long process, but got her done. A lot of work, but got it done. And today I came out and I decided I was going to try to straighten it, and I surely did get this thing straight. It has lifted it up, and it is actually pretty dang good and straight right now. And what I did is I put the tractor underneath there and I raised it up to get some pressure off of it. But I'll show you what I did on the inside. So I had bought these for this purpose. I bought these for over in the corner. You're gonna have to excuse my mess, okay? Because I've been just piling stuff in here and I need to clean this garage. But I had bought these to support the corners when I cut the corners loose and make the concrete walls around the corners. I want to put a curb kind of concrete thing around each corner to stabilize this garage real good, mainly because that wall over there heaves up and down with the winter. I actually have to move my door catch thing for the door handle like up and down almost an inch and a half in the wintertime. I have these holes and I just have to constantly move the latch up and down to actually catch the door. So it moves a lot. And I bought these things, and they go underneath houses and stuff. You put them underneath on the beams and stuff, and you screw them up tight and give support. Well, that 2x4 that is down in the bottom, that is the bottom of the wall, was actually way below the floor. And I lifted it up with the tractor, and then I sat here with a adjustable wrench and stuff, and sat there and I kind of welded the cap so it would stay. And put that underneath there, and I've been just cranking on it, and you could hear this wall just popping and clicking and everything else. And I have raised this thing up probably about 2 inches. And there we go. Now it's holding. And so I'm gonna pull my tractor out and see what it does, and I'm gonna put another one over there, kinda. It's where the last post is gonna be. I'm gonna put another one of those. I have 2 of them. I'm gonna put another one there, and that'll help hold up the wall. And then I can get the exact measurements of the holes, the tubes, and everything to get them set up underneath the 2x8s that are underneath this wall. There's 2 2x8s screwed together that go the length of this, and they just had these sitting on the ground. They had them a rock once in a while. It was just very poorly done. So now we're going to actually put some kind of foundation underneath there, so this will hold for 25, 35, 45 years. But I'm going to take the weight of the tractor, the bucket off. What it's doing, I don't think it's really doing too much more. I think it's all on this, and we're gonna lower it off and see if she holds. I got all the tubes down. I got them all set down in there and everything. And I had to cut them and stuff a little bit to get them to sit where I needed them. I need them 7.5 inches below that sill board so that a 2x8 can lay upright. And it's gonna be 2 2x8s that are gonna lay upright underneath that sill board to provide the strength for this. And I got them all set down and everything else. And I just got to cut a bunch of re-rod and put it down in there so the concrete has some strength. And then I'm going to start to pour. I'm actually going to use the tractor and put it right over to the back of my truck. I have a whole load of concrete in the back of my truck sitting over there. And it's all covered up because it started raining. So I covered it up quick. And I finished up and I got all the ones all the way around the house all set and everything. And I'll show you what I got planned here. I thought I'd show you guys this real quick. I'm pouring it. I need to pile more dirt around it, I think. But I got me a little chute built here. All I gotta do is tip it, put it in there. Then I flip it back over and I just tip the bag into it. Hey, I can't lift this stuff, but it's called work smarter, not harder, right? I got the corner started. I'm gonna dig some more with the tractor. As much as I can dig with the tractor, you know. At least I dig myself, save my back. But there was a huge chunk of concrete that was in the corner. And you can see this was actually the corner in the garage. And this was raised up probably that much from the other floor. It heaves up and down. I notice it from seasons and stuff. It gets really super high up in the corner and stuff. But you can see how they did this. It's just like rocks all piled in there and stuff, which, you know, that's a, old foundation. That's what they used to do. But it's only from where it actually, the wall sat on it down, it's only maybe 1.5 feet down. Then it has like a big booger thing that goes off to the side. But, you know, going straight down and stuff, it did not go down very, it's only maybe 1.5 feet down that was actually doing it. That's why this whole corner was heaving up and down and the door was all goofy, closing and stuff. It was just, you know, got to put the foundations down there far enough so that it doesn't do that. But all the rest of it's all put in and everything. I've kind of dumped a little bit of dirt in. I'm going to go over my tractor and smush it all down and stuff, and then I'm going to put gravel over it all the way up to the wall. I got to replace a couple of boards in there. I got the thing pretty much straight, but kind of hit her too hard a few times on my tractor and broke a few wall boards, so not a big deal. But yeah, my garage is actually floating. It's on that big steel pipe that's inside there. It's I got an adjustable thing. It's made for going in basements. You can put it underneath beams in your basement and stuff to take away a creaking floor, a sagging floor, or something like that. That's what they're for. And works real good. It's lifting us right up. I got this all set up, ready to go. Got my concrete mixer going here. Got my little chute all lined up. And got the rebar all down in there. If you guys can see that, I got it going crosswise in the top and the bottom. And 4 foot, those are cut 4 foot pieces, and that's 5 inches below the top of it, so it's pretty good. I guess I got a little deeper than I thought. But yeah, so it's going to be about 4.5 feet of tall concrete. But I got the forms all set, and I got it all set out there. I'm not a big concrete guy. I really don't like doing concrete, but I can do it. It's just not enjoyable. There it is. Actually got a real concrete foundation around one part of this house. Those piers that are on there that go down the walls around this garage, they're going to be just fine. It's been, I mean, there's many places that are built like that, and I mean, they do that a lot when like places in like around water and stuff like that. They'll put those piers up and everything else. They'll hold just fine. I mean, there was nothing underneath there for what? I don't know, 30 years, 40 years or something. And so this would be greatly improvement. The neighbor down the road, he always stops down here, and he's had a house pretty bad like this too, and he's redone it all and everything. And he's like, yeah, he goes, all I ever keep telling everybody is all it needs to do is make it 40 years. Because he said he's 60 years old. And he says, all it needs to do is make it 40 years old. I don't care what happens after that. Well, I told him, I says, if I can get 40, I'll be happy. Because I doubt that I'll live that long. The way I've abused my body over the years. But it would have been really nice to actually pour this foundation, pour it like this, an actual real foundation all the way around and everything. But guys, you got to remember, this is a $12,900 house. That's what I paid for it. And, you know, I mean, that was 20 bags of concrete. To do it all the way around, I would have had to rent equipment. I couldn't have been able to do it all by hand. And, use my tractor to dig the best I can, then dig it all the rest of it by hand and everything. I would have had to get an actual backhoe in here and everything and dig the whole thing out. Then you need actual real forms and stuff. I just kind of rigged this up with some plywood and it worked. But to do around the whole house would have been super expensive. And I mean, I probably would have stuck probably as much as I bought this house for, just in putting a foundation around this garage. And I think the piers are just gonna be just fine. But these corners have been moving around and kicking around and stuff like that. And a lot of times the snow piles up here and it angles back here, and the water always melts and it pools up here and stuff, and it melts and it runs into there. And so this way it's actually got a real foundation. They're 4.5 feet down, and this is really gonna make this thing quite different. So now I gotta lower the house back down. I got it jacked up. This corner is jacked up in the air. You can see the plywood, how it's tight up there and then loose on the bottom. And it's probably about 2 inches it's got to come down, and to make this roof line level. And then the roof line is actually gonna be straight. House is the thing. So that is an awesome foundation. And so now I got to get the sheet and all this stuff, putting all these walls back together and get all this stuff done. And then it'll just be the last couple of little corners over there to do and ready to go. My steel is in, but my screws are not. I kind of forgot to order the screws. The screws that hold the steel on, that's going to go on the siding. I ordered slate blue siding, steel, and then I started thinking about it. Well, you can buy black or you can buy white screws. And I'm like, I do not want to see all these black or white screws all over the side. So I looked it up. Sure enough, you can get screws, whatever color you want and everything, but you got to special order them. So I had to special order 2 boxes of screws. And I got a notification that my steel is in and for siding. But then the screws, they're talking, I think it's going to be like end of this week or something like that when they're in. So I'll just make one trip over there and get both orders at one time. So you can see how much this wall is kicked out on the bottom. This thing is leaning really bad. So definitely gonna need that over here. All right, guys, I'm gonna get to work, and I got people coming, and I gotta clean all this up, and I think I'm gonna take the tractor and push some dirt down on that wall so we don't have this giant hole we're kind of walking around, and kind of get things moving here. I think that's the plan. And I'm just gonna take the bucket and kind of push this dirt right here and just push it into this hole as best I can. I'm not sure about this big rock. I don't know. I don't think the hole's deep enough. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's just moving things along. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope that everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night as they watch this here video. And if you're not, well, you can certainly try that all over again tomorrow. What I'll probably do is probably when I get the walls all done inside and everything, I'll just shoot a little video right after this so you guys can see it done. See ya.